This is the Darth Vader lightsaber from Nsabers, and it is the most epic lightsaber ever. If you're debating whether or not to get it, stop. The saber far exceeded my expectations, and I'm sure it'll exceed yours too. We'll not only be breaking down the cosmetic details and how to use it, but comparing it to Anakin's other sabers as well. Here's absolutely everything you need to know. Unboxing your Neopixel lightsaber has to be one of the most rewarding experiences, and there is so much to pull out. You are of course going to have your Darth Vader hilt and a really cool acrylic stand that you can place and display it on. That stand will come in the box and it's super easy to assemble. You will have a pair of gloves in here because the saber is a chrome fingerprint magnet, so if you want to keep those fingerprints off, you have those. Your manual to show you how to use all the features, which we'll be going through here in a bit, and a box with a toolkit, and this has all the necessities for your lightsaber. You will have your lightsaber plug to keep it protected. You will have your charger and extra wipers in case any of these ever fall off. You can just replace them. And your Nsabers plaque to put on your display stand if you choose. And last but not least, you will have your Neopixel lightsaber blade. Darth Vader's lightsaber is one of my absolute favorites, and for good reason. One, it's absolutely stunning, and it has been used in some of the most epic lightsaber battles, like against his own son Luke Skywalker, and my personal favorite against Ahsoka Tano in Star Wars Rebels. It also has a super unique feature called a dual phase function, which we have seen against Luke, where Vader can actually change the length of his lightsaber blade depending on the situation he is in. Let's go ahead and get an up-close look at the details of this saber. It is very similar to a couple other hilts we have seen before, which we will get to shortly, but it is absolutely beautiful with this cool chrome finish, our wiper blades on here, a really neat bubble emitter, and this is a 2-button emitter with our power at the top and auxiliary at the bottom. It has some of my personal favorite details, which are the exposed wires that are on either side of the hilt. If we flip it to the back side, we have some neat screws and our D-ring over here. And the emitter's really neat with this half sawed off look and the black finish. And on the front, we actually have a plaque, and I wanted to go ahead and translate to see what this says on here. So we'll type out those letters, get to translating, and it looks like it says Saber. So that's pretty cool, and it also reminds you of what it is, just in case you forgot. Anakin was not only prone to losing his lightsabers, but breaking them as well. So suffice it to say, he had a lot of different ones, and we actually have all three here in front of us, from his Padawan saber to his Episode 3 and the epic Darth Vader lightsaber. We see tons of similarities right off the bat, the most apparent being the wiper blades, which are on all three. His Episode 3 differs the most, so we're going to go ahead and pull this one out and take a look at his Padawan versus his Darth Vader lightsaber. And right off the bat, these are basically the same lightsaber. We have the wiper blades, the same bubbled emitter box on there. The emitter is even shaped exactly the same. The big difference is we have a more black saber versus a chrome saber on here. Even the back sides are basically identical with the exposed screws, the D-ring, all of it is exactly the same. So it's really cool to see that he carried over his original design to his Darth Vader weapon. Now, the biggest difference on here is the sizing. His Padawan saber is very small in comparison. So, of course, when he was a Padawan, he probably needed something lighter, more agile as he was learning the ways of the Force and saber combat. And as he grew into Darth Vader, he literally grew. His hand sizes got bigger. He was bigger and heavier due to his armor, so he needed a heftier weapon and a bigger weapon to hold and grasp with his hands. So both of these are just so drastic in size. We also saw Darth Vader's style of combat change. The size of the hilt lended itself really well to use with one hand, but was also large and heavy enough for him to use his advantage, where he could grip with both hands and use the weight and power of it to strike more powerful with both hands on the hilt. It's finally time to go ahead and assemble the lightsaber, and I'm going to show you all how to use all of the features. The best thing about this saber is it's powered with the brand new SNV4 Pro chassis, which means we can use the ForcePark V2 app to completely control it, from powering it on to all our different effects. So we're going to check each one of those out. First one being our blaster effect, our lockup, clash, our force effect. We can melt, stab. That one's really neat. And you can hear those like screams. I love the different sounds these sabers make. Our drag effect at the tip. And you can take a listen to the swing. And of course, to power it on, you don't need the app, and you can just use the awesome gesture ignition where you twist to turn it on. Inside the app, you'll be able to access all your other features as well, like changing your blade color. As you can see, we can go through all the different ones here, and I'll show you another way to access some that are in between shades. You'll also be able to change your character font. So let's see a few that we have installed on here. Leia. Here's our Leia. And what's really cool is each sound font has different sound effects to it. There's our lockup, clash, and let's see our force effect for this one. Very, very cool. Let's scroll through a couple and see what character fonts come pre-installed on here.
Ventress, Starkiller, Temple Guard, the Butcher, Quinlan Boss, General Kenobi, Mastermind, and Torgus the Dark Saber.
Let's take a listen to that Dark Saber. Oh, gotta love that sound. There's that blaster, lockup, and let's check out the drag. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the blade effects, which are what the blade actually looks like when it's on, whether it's a solid color or pulsing or fire blades, things like that. All of these are going to be numbered 1 through I think 10-ish, I believe, and we'll take a look at a couple different blade effects.
Blade 10.
So here's 10. So here we have kind of a pulsating cracked blade.
Blade stable.
Stable blade.
Blade unstable.
Oh, unstable blade.
Blade pulse.
And the pulsing blade. So you can really get down to like the nitty-gritty features. We also have our boot effect, which is how the saber turns on.
Standard ignition.
So our standard ignition is there, which is just a normal on and off. Looks like we have that pulsating blade effect. Let's go ahead and switch that back to stable so we can see the ignition a little better. Let's check up another boot effect.
Starter ignition.
Ooh, that was really cool.
Stealth ignition.
Stealth. And let's check out one more.
Oh my G.
And at the very bottom of the screen, you'll be able to adjust your volume so you can turn it down or up depending on how loud you want to be. So I have it at 50% currently, but if you're out and about, turn that bad boy down. It'll be nice and soft. You won't bother people as much, or you can crank it up if you want to blow out your ears. When we were looking at the color selection on the Saber, I mentioned that you could get shades of colors in between what were there. And the way to do this is going to be by going to the Data Modify section in the app and hitting Selection on Color Palette. And you'll see the full color palette pop up, and you can select any color in here. So you can hit a lime green on there. We can go down and go more towards a hot pink, a nice color shade of blue, or even orange on here. So you can literally select whatever color you want by utilizing this feature in the app. Pretty neat. And that is everything you need to know about the Darth Vader lightsaber from Nsabers. If you want to pick one up for yourself, make sure to use our code FALCON at checkout for 7% off your order. And I will see you guys over at our next lightsaber review. See you there.